listen, let this song soothe your soul.
Hello.
Welcome back to the Metal Chick podcast. In case you haven't noticed, I have a guest. I have a very talented guest.
Going down.
Jamison Fernandez, or Jam is On, however you want to know him by, is on the line. He is going to be performing at the WAMI holiday party on January 16th. So
Yeah,
I have the pleasure of interviewing him for it. So that's exciting. So welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate the opportunity. Happy to be here. Happy to be alive, really.
Yeah. Right? Happy 2025. It's 2 days into the year. It's been chaos, apparently, in the world. But we are going to just talk about happy things and music and the WAMI and organization as a whole, things that we've got coming down the pipe, like the holiday party, which is going to be a lot of fun.
Oh my
and
gosh,
what
I'm
you've
so
got
excited.
Going on. I know, right? It's always such a nice break, like in the middle of January, because the holidays are kind of over and you're just kind of in that post-holiday slump. And now we're going to have this super fun party.
Yeah. Let's liven up our lives with music.
Exactly. That's right. Well, Jamison, tell the listeners a little bit about yourself. What kind of music do you play? What can they expect at the holiday party?
Oh, that has always been like one of the hardest questions for me to answer. So I've been teaching music for 10 years now, like over 10 years, and I have dabbled in so many different styles and genres. I started off just playing in, well, the first band that I was in was like a metalcore band, and so it was
Nice.
very heavy. Like I had a lot of fun. But yeah, I mean, so that it was like from that, metal and rock have definitely been like the main kind of themes. Those were huge inspiring factors for me when I was learning and pursuing the guitar. And I went to go and play like a chord, but I was like, wait, no, I'm in an open position. So like you can play, yeah, never mind. That's why like a regular chord that wouldn't sound bad in a regular tuning sounds like that.
Right.
You just hit all the open strings and
there you
breath
go.
of fresh air. Yeah, breathe it in, open B tuning. So once I started singing, so back to the question. I feel like ADHD makes for a really good radio show, just saying.
It does. It's great.
So once I started singing, I realized that it kind of changed, not changed, but like my style, especially my writing style. So for original music, I feel like I get this indie folk pop, but like still rock, metal, blues. Like it's just a conglomeration of all like my sounds and styles. But I found there's this term, world music, I guess, that that has been used to describe like a couple of artists. One of them being one of my favorite artists, who's named Nako and Medicine for the People. So I'd like to think that my music is considered world music. But back to the original question, which is just like, what can people expect? I play such a wide variety, and I always love taking requests, even if I can't play something that night. It's like given a certain amount of time for a set, I will check it out and I'll be like, well, come to my next show and I'll play it for you. Or, you know,
cool.
or if I can't play it, I will look it up and I will play it on my break so that you will still get a chance to hear the music that you want to hear. But yeah, I mean, just a lot of different artists. I know, like, yeah, the song that I've started out like all of my shows over the last year with was Something in the Orange by Zach Bryan, because when I heard that song, a student brought it to our lessons and said that he wanted to learn it, and we're like 5 minutes into learning the song and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is totally going on my set list.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So do you play only covers or do you do original as well? Or is it more original than covers?
I definitely do more covers than originals, and like the goal is
Okay.
to like keep kind of pushing more into originals. But the way that I really like to do that, to sprinkle in original songs, is to kind of get people engaged and singing along. And then after I've got people's attention and they're singing, they're loose, they're having fun, then I will literally like ask the crowd. I would be like, "Hey, so you guys want to hear a song that I wrote?" And it's like most of the time when you've got people's attention and you've already pulled them in, you get them moving and grooving. It's like most of the time people will say yes. And then so then it's like, okay, so it's now not just my decision to do this, but y'all asked for it. So
Totally. That's awesome. And
yeah.
are you only a guitar player? Do you play other instruments, or like has guitar always been your number one instrument?
Guitar has been my main instrument. So guitar was the first instrument that I ever started learning that has since I started, it's never gotten old. Like so music has been in my life like my entire life. So I mean there was a piano in the house when I was growing up. And then in grade school I did viola for a couple years. I did trombone, and then I did like choir. Then I briefly went into like acting and stuff when I was in middle school, did that for a little while, came back to music, did drums in my freshman year of high school. And by that time I had already played around a little bit on the guitar, but nothing like too serious, I guess you could say. And then but once it was just something clicked when I was working at
Hmm.
Cops, Crows, and Custard when I was growing up. I got off of work, went over to my cousin's house, and he had just gotten a guitar from his aunt, and he was starting to play a couple of notes, and he plays the first couple of notes uh from One by Metallica, and it just that.
Okay. You're like, what is that?
Oh, and
That's
yes,
what I want to
exactly
do.
that. And I was just like, oh my God, I know that sound. I know that. Oh, why did that just hit me so like, and it just, oh, it hit
Mm-hmm.
me like to my core. And ever since then, I've just been obsessed with guitar, and it's never gotten old. There's always been a new adventure, something else that I can learn and explore on the guitar. But again, back to the original question.
That's
So
interesting.
guitar is my main instrument, but guitar, piano, and vocals, I guess, would be my main three. But yeah, I teach guitar, piano, bass, vocals, ukulele, mandolin, and drums.
Oh my
So,
gosh. Oh my gosh. That's interesting. I mean, it's a wide variety there.
yeah, I
That's
feel like
interesting.
it's just
So
it's
then, do you
yeah.
have like, right? That's like a lot of different instruments.
I feel like it's just
So do
been like
you,
these
are you
different
a one,
instruments.
are
Yeah.
you like,
No,
yeah,
you can go
well,
ahead.
and I mean, they all kind of move, they all flow together. So it kind of makes sense. Like ukulele versus electric guitar or whatever, bass guitar versus whatever. So that does make sense. Um, so are you a solo act or do you have a band?
So for this show, I will be doing this one solo, but I also am in a
Okay.
band called Georgia Overdrive. I do lead guitar for them. We just headlined Harvest Fest this last year on Saturday night in at State Fair.
In Door
So that
County?
was
Oh, oh, that,
the
okay.
West Dallas. Yeah.
That's a big deal. Yeah, that's a big
Yeah.
deal.
That was pretty big, and that was very, very exciting. So
Yeah,
I joined that band,
that's amazing.
and currently in the works building uh another project. Well, there's somebody else that's building it, but he wants to get me in that band playing lead guitar and like dual lead guitar and lead vocals. So that one's still in the works, but then I also do have like a duo project that is what I will be playing at Summerfest this year, which is me and a saxophone player that I just started jamming with, named Eric Johnson. Very much like the famous guitar
Oh,
player Eric Johnson.
nice. That's funny. I'm just logging in here. Let's talk. So, how long have you been? I don't even know if you are a WAMI member. I'm assuming you are. If you're not, you will be after this conversation. But officially, I will convince you. I will convince everybody.
Join the dark side.
Like, how long have you? Yeah, I know, right? Like, come on, guys, we're working really hard. Help a sister out here. Like how long? I'm just gonna assume that you are. So, how long have you been a WAMI member? Let's start there. And well, how do you feel? Well, let me finish. How do you feel that the organization is growing, say, compared to 5 years ago, compared to today? What are your thoughts?
So super interesting. WAMI has has kind of been one of those things that it's like I have heard about it, and I remember seeing like people share nominations and stuff like that over the years, and it's always been something that's like piqued my curiosity, but I never really looked into it. I guess I didn't know how you would get nominated, what you would even do to go about it. And then just this year, or last year technically, I get this email that I've been nominated for like best like new emerging artist of the year. And it was just, it was really, really wild. And it's just like, I read that in my emails and I was like, wait, what? And so then it's very shortly after I end up meeting Tabitha from Music Success. And then I like learned so much more about like what WAMI is and everything like that. And it is, so I guess I really have nothing to compare, say like WAMI now versus
okay.
like years ago to. Honestly, I remember like I thought the first time I saw something WAMI, I thought it was related to like Nam, like,
Mm-hmm.
and still I don't know too much about that. I just know that I see videos of guitar players on YouTube going there, and it looks like a lot of fun. But I guess it's like invite only.
I know. We're working on it. I was like, man, that's where we need to go to find some sponsorships for the WAMI Award Show trophies. Like, because those people got money out there. Like, we need to go and get somebody to fork over some cash for this stuff. I mean, for real. No, but that is a really good way to put it, because I actually come across that quite a bit where they're like, yeah, I kind of heard about it, I kind of knew about it, but we're working so hard to get more of the word out there, whether it is with promotion, doing podcasts, newsletters, a lot more social media attention. I think that the new award system and the way you can nominate or self-register, I think bands sometimes forget that you are a business. It doesn't matter if you're just making $20 a gig or something, you're still a business. You should treat it as such, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I understand most musicians just want to be the musicians. They don't want to be the band manager too, but sometimes you have to be, and you have to promote yourself. You have to self-promote yourself. That's the name of the business. I mean, you know, most companies don't get to be where they are by just sitting in their garage and being like, oh, I hope somebody discovers me. You know, you have to get out there and get the word out, you know? So
Exactly.
I think a lot of the stuff that's coming down the pipe, and like with the holiday party, highlighting an artist such as yourself, an emerging artist such as yourself or Kevin Brandt or Kitty Softball, who's been around for a while, but they're not just, you know, the average cover band or whatever it is. They're interesting, they're new and fresh, and I think it's a really dynamic direction that WAMI is moving towards. Our membership is growing bananas. I mean, we have thousands and thousands and thousands of new members, and a lot of it is the nomination process where somebody thought you were amazing, so they threw your name in the hat and was like, people need the opportunity to vote on this guy because he's amazing and he deserves to potentially win. So I think that's cool.
That is really cool. It was honestly, it still does hit me. It's very shocking to me. At this point in my life, I can admit that I am good at what I do, but I definitely, when I hear people tell me how like amazing they think I am. I'm just still in awe. I very, very much so appreciate it, but I think as artists, you see all of the ways in which you want to be better, which is good because if you never saw the ways that you wanted to be better, you wouldn't be growing or learning. So you you need that.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think it keeps me humble, you know. Like I don't think that
it
I could
does.
ever reach the point where I could just like walk around like, yeah, I'm the shit, like, you know, like or something and just like be
Like some
walking
of
with
these guys
that.
do. I know.
And yeah,
I get
I
embarrassed
can't
wearing
do
my
it.
own merch. I literally get embarrassed like wearing my own merch. And people are like, "How are we supposed to know about your podcast?" I'm like, "I don't know." I'm literally the person that I yell about. I'm literally that person. I self-promote I'm the worst about it. Well, I mean, I'm not trying to do this professionally, so I don't really care that much. But you guys like, and I don't qualify for a WAMI award because I'm on the board. So I really don't care about my podcast getting any accolades. I don't care. I want to use it as a medium to get more exposure for WAMI members and local musicians and stuff like that. That's always been the mission of my podcast anyway. But literally, I'm the biggest hypocrite when it comes to me yelling at people, "You got to promote yourself." And they're like, "Yeah, because you promote yourself so well." You know?
Exactly.
And I'm like,
Oh,
"Shut
that's
up.
so
I
hard
know."
to it's so hard to take your own advice. Like, you know, it's kind of like one of
Right?
those like do as I say, not as I do. But I'll
Yeah.
catch myself in that because like I've been teaching for quite a few years now, and I will catch myself if I'm like working on a song and there's like this like fast section or something of this solo, and I'm just like playing through it and I'm like just like blasting through, maybe making a couple of mistakes, and I'm like, slow it down, slow it down. Or when I'm
Right?
first working on a song or when I'm writing songs, I will I will put together a couple of parts and I'm like, oh, I don't know if that transition is gonna work. I don't know, it might sound, and I'm like, nope, record it, review it. Then when you're reviewing your song or this section of whatever song with your full headspace, then you can give yourself like that space to
Yeah,
figure it out. So just a lot of rules and things and guidelines that I give students that I also need to follow in my own life. But
totally. Because if you
it's so
tweaked as
hard.
you went, you'd never get anything finished.
Yeah.
Ever.
But seriously, like you had mentioned it earlier, like the whole idea of like you have to not only be the music, the talent, but you also have to be the band manager and you need to promote yourself and you need to do all this stuff. Finding that balance, I think, is just a journey.
It
It's
is.
difficult, but you know, you find your groove and
Well,
you don't need to do certain things. And
yeah. Well, yeah. And like I said, like you mentioned, you can walk around with like your band shirt so that people ask about it, and you can be like kind of your own business card without being a dick about it. Like without
yeah.
walking around being like, "Yeah, I'm the best singer-songwriter ever, bro." Like you don't have to be that guy, but you could be. Check out my podcast in case you haven't heard of it, you know? Like I made up
Right.
this jacket, you know what I mean? I made up this blazer and on the back it has the website and stuff like that, and I wear it out to shows and stuff. I probably get more followers just from people from standing up front, jamming to bands, and people are like reading it and they're like, "Oh, it's a podcast. Let me go subscribe." And I'm like, "Thanks. I didn't even have to talk to you. That's great. This is amazing. I didn't even have to give you my 30-second elevator pitch and feel like a jerk about it. You know what I mean? Feel like that used car salesman. Hey, blah blah. You know what I mean? Because none of us want to do that. None self-promotion is ridiculously hard
Yeah,
because
because
we all want to
it's
be
all
humble
those
about it.
things. Yeah, and
Yeah,
it's
but you
interesting.
gotta be.
I do love the shirts though, like being able to like promote yourself, you know, maybe even like QR code on the back. Like, you know, but just
Right.
something that's just
Yes.
simple and easy
Here's
for
a
somebody to
sticker.
find.
Yeah,
Because yeah, then you don't even need to do anything. You just have to like
I
entice
know.
somebody. I really was thinking about just having QR code stickers without any explanation of what it is that I do. Just QR code stickers and just put them up at like bus stops and stuff, like and just different
Right.
places. Then
Totally.
just like appeal to that
Yeah.
curiosity. Like not everybody will actually like be interested, I'm sure, in it. Some people like go and then be like, oh, no, and then just skip. But then some people are like, oh, wait, no, this is actually like an artist. Like, oh, let me check out their stuff. Like, and it's like, ah, we
Seriously.
got one.
Human nature is, if I saw a QR code at a bus stop, in a bathroom, somewhere random at the grocery store, and it literally said, "I'm a singer-songwriter. I play metal music. Scan the QR code to like my Facebook page or hear my songs," or something like that, I probably would do it. A, because you're telling me to do it. You're very clearly giving me instructions, and you're telling me enough to pique my interest. And QR codes are amazing because then I don't have to
Really
type it. Something like that. That's brilliant. Like I said, we're the music industry, especially local music industry. Sometimes they're just the worst at self-promotion, but we're getting there. But that's what WAMI's
sucking
trying
at
to do.
something is the first step of being kind of good at something.
Yeah. What I think camera just pooped out. Hold on a second.
Yep, looks like it.
Oh, come on, man.
It's good old technology for you.
Plug it in directly. Yeah,
Like
this is fun now.
I've done Zoom lessons. Like I started doing Zoom lessons when I had done a couple before the whole pandemic, but then after COVID, when Guitar Center came back, I was doing a lot of Zoom lessons for a few months, and then it's basically just kept going. Now, not all of my students are Zoom lessons, but I definitely have regulars. Like I have Zoom lessons today, but it's really cool because it's a reminder that technology is awesome, but it's not without fail. Like technology is definitely
right.
it's really cool, but
Totally.
you have like camera things and like audio issues, like connection things, like and you can have the best, quickest computer phone system ever, and then it still will give you lots of unknown difficulties.
Totally. I need that the truth, and everything's so expensive these days. I'm like, I really need a new computer just for podcasting because I beat the snot out of the USB ports because I'm constantly inserting for the preamps or the microphones or the webcams or whatever, and so then they get just beat up. But that's right, whatever. It's fine. We're almost at the end. I'll just like stick a photo, be like technical difficulties in there, and it'll be funny.
That picture with like the cat.
Yes, literally.
Oh my gosh. When I tell people all the time when they're just like, hey, how you been? And they're like, I'm hanging in there. And I'm like, that sounds exhausting. Like, let go, drop down, sit down, take a little bit of a break. If you've just been hanging in there, like after a couple minutes, you feel that arms get a little tired,
That's funny as hell. Well, anywho, we're going to wrap it up anyway. We're pretty much done. So, let's talk about the holiday party. Thursday, January 16th, 2025. Starts at 5 o'clock. Music goes on, I think, around 6:30-ish, I think. Goes till about 9 or whenever. Probably until whenever Polly kicks us out, because it's going to be at Polly's Pub and Eatery in West Dallas.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun, I think.
Which is really exciting. I have heard a lot about opportunities and stuff and jams at Polly's, but I have never actually played at Polly's, so this is going to be a first for me. I've played all over the Milwaukee area, but this is going to be a first, so.
It'll be great. It's going to be awesome.
Oh, it is for sure going to be awesome. Energy and vibes that will not disappoint. Come on down, melt with us, dance with us, have fun, call out songs that you want to hear, and just vibe with us. Oh, yeah.
Too funny. All right, Jamison, tell the listeners where they can find out more about you, your website, social media links, etc.
Absolutely. So it is, the Jam is on 24/7 on all platforms. And if you want to learn more about me, my mission, or check out my upcoming shows, check out www.thejamison247.com.
I will, of course, link to all this in the show notes at metalchickshow.com. It'll be metalchickshow.com/EP08 3. And be sure to go back and listen to the episode that we did before this with Kitty Softpaw, where we, again, talk about the holiday party. And it's going to be a good time, and I hope to see everybody there.
Yeah, come on out if you know what's good for you.